Okay, so this video, we're going to go over adding one or two products by hand, one at a time. Now, if you're looking to add an entire new line, a new brand, you're going to want to look at the video on how to map and do a bulk import. But let's say you have a new vendor and you only want to carry one or two of his parts, and so you're going to want to create a product and a product display at the same time. Remember that Drupal is set up much like a brick and mortar store, right? So you have a warehouse in the back and it's got all your parts in the back. So let's go to the back of your warehouse. All of your products are under product variations, right? So this is every part you currently have on your website, right? 5,598 rows on this particular demo. So these are all your parts, and these are your part titles and the pricing and all that good stuff. So those are already in the back of your website, in your back of your warehouse, right? And typically they should all have product displays, but there's a number of reasons you wouldn't want each one of these to have its own product display, right? And that reason could be right here where two of these parts are very similar and you want them in one display, not in multiple displays around your site. So when you're going to add a product and a product display at the same time, you go up to Content, click Add Content. Of course, it's going to ask you what kind of content, and we're looking for a product display, and you're going to click that. Now, you may see exactly this on your website right now, and you may not. Maybe it'll have something different with a drop down or some other type of field here, and this is very simple. If you see this with a title, the products, and this little bar over here, this is an autocomplete. It's asking you to start typing something in and it will try and autocomplete it for you. So let's pretend that you want to make a product display with a couple parts on the back that you just put on individually, and you didn't do it like this, and we want to put down front bumper JK from Smitty. It's a bad title display, but the thing is that this is not mandatory that it be the same title of what your part is. Actually, product displays, a lot of times if they're bundled, are not the same, because again, you might have a part and this part is the same front bumper for that same year, make, model, the same series perhaps, but one is bare coat and one is powder coat and one is maybe with tube work in it, and so you don't want the title of that part to be the display, because those will be different parts within that display. So if the part is already on the back of your site, then when you click down to products, it's going to ask you, and you can start typing either. You can say part number, or you can just say JK bumper, because you know what it is, and it's going to try and find something with that word in there, and you can go, yep, that's the right one, and you can click it. Now at this point, you can add another product as well. All you have to do is put the comma right there, and you can add as many parts to one display as you'd like. It doesn't even mean that it only can be in one display. So let's say you had winch gloves and you wanted to sell one of Warren's winches. So we're going to do this and winch glove. Let's see if we have a part number that comes up. Nope, not on this one. Hang on. So it could come up and it could say, or if you had winch gloves and you want it to be in the same display, winch gloves could be in its own display, but it can also be in every other display you have for winches on your entire site, because you want to try and upsell that part. So this is as simple as it is, and then you would hit the save button below, and now you've created a product display for a part that already exists on your website. But let's say that this part doesn't exist on your website and you want to create it, and you don't want to go through creating it and then go the second step of making the display. So then you're going to mouse over Structure, Content Types, Product Display, Manage Fields, Products, and Widget Types. All right, so let's do that one more time. So because we're going to change the widget type on this, right? It takes 1 second. We're going to mouse over Structure, Content Types, Product Display, because that's what we're impacting. We know it's a field, and we know it's the widget that we're using. So we're going to click Widget, and it says this is autocomplete, right? This means I'm looking for something that already exists. So we can change that to inline entity multiple values. And of course the reason we say multiple is because you can want to have more than one part at some point in time. Click Continue. And now go back up to your content, add content, product display, and now it's changed. So now it says it's not about a part that's already on there. So I'm going to give it a title. And again, this is a streamlined site, so it's set up a little bit different than other websites that are not streamlined. So on this particular one, all ASAP data parts have their own product type, but you're going to look for something that just says product, and yours might only say product. So you're going to add product, add new product, and what you're going to see here when this comes up is it's going to give you the ability to add the title of the display. So remember, everything outside this gray is the display title. You're going to add the SKU number, the product title, the product description, your image, right, your price. If you want to let yourself know what map pricing is or the cost is, again, on your site you may not have had those fields put in, but you're definitely going to have the one that's mandatory is your price, whether it's active or disabled, the YouTube video if you'd like to. You're going to have to assign it to a category, right? Now, if you did not go in and create the categories first, don't panic on this. You can save this right now without a category, but once you do, please go back into your taxonomy and create that category and come back here and assign it. Otherwise, you're going to have a display that's never going to show up. It doesn't know where to show up at. So, and at this point as well, these show already blown open for you. So if you decide it's a rear axle kit, for example, and you click this, the axle kits was a child of axle. Axle was a child of drivetrain. You only have to click the last position, and it auto-clicked all of these for you. All right. And then you're going to scroll down. Again, this taxonomy is kind of big. Yours might not be that big. It depends on what parts you have on your website. You must assign it to a brand. And if you don't have a brand on there yet because you didn't go through creating the brand as a new brand, just go ahead and leave it on NA. Just remember to go back in and create it once you're done. And you can go on to the video on how to create taxonomy terms and working with your taxonomy terms. Anyway, if it has installation instructions, it really depends on, again, your website and how you have it set up. You may have some different fields in here. Maybe you wanted it to be Jeep, truck, or ATV, for example. And if this part's going into one of those fields, then you'll need to let it know on that. If it's a particular part, oh, here we are. What I was just talking about, right? So you could have made fields and you say, I want this to show up in Universal or ATV because maybe it didn't have fitment already, or maybe you disabled fitment on your website. Tell it if it's flat rate or free. Again, not all websites are going to be set up the same way. Some clients don't have these fields on there because they didn't want it for theirs. You will have to put in your box dimensions, right? It defaults to 1, 1, and 1. And then it's saying add another item. and that is if you have multiple boxes. So if you have a suspension kit or some kind of part that has 3 boxes, you certainly can add 3 product packaging, and then you just hit create the product. And what you've done is created the product and the product display at the same time. And then you have to just go down and save it, and that's all there is to it. Okay, I hope this helps, and have a great day.